lefty, which means I approach my opponent leading with my left foot. Okay, so I'm going to show everything left first and then right. Okay, so it may be a little awkward because most people are probably right-handed, correct? As far as like grappling, striking is the opposite. But for this, I'm most naturally left foot leader. So the first time, don't be too confused. I'm going to switch it to the other side, okay? Which I'm not very good at sometimes. So a good way to kind of get an approach of your opponent, without specifically talking about Yoko Tsumoinagi, is you bow. He's a righty, okay? He's leading with his right foot. That changes pretty much everything of your psychological game plan of how you're going to approach your opponent, okay? Unless he's baiting you and then he's a lefty, but that's usually not the case in judo. So for this technique alone, we're going to make sure the uke is what I call a middle-y. His feet are parallel with each other, and he's just going to take a good fall for us, okay? There's no extreme, because that's setups, and we're going to get to that once we learn the technique, okay? So the way I like to do it, classically, is my hand is on the collarbone, okay? Not high, up here, thumb in, flat and on the collarbone. Do you see this? Okay, I'm not too low, because he can just grab my back and pull me in, right? Ugh, not good. I want to be able to, whenever I'm not attacking, my palm wants to be flat on my opponent's chest, collarbone, because it's really hard for him to pull me in. And I'm not doing much. I'm not using my bicep or any of my pulling muscles. I'm using my tricep and my back, my extending muscles. So I'm really being efficient with my body. I'm able to conserve energy and really be tactically defensive until I choose to attack. Okay, and if he decides to get an inside grip, with this hand, just try. I'm able to block it just with my elbow. He comes back to the outside. I'm here, okay? So it's really important to be able to play with this part of your opponent's body. So for you righties, face me. Come right there, exactly. Same thing, okay? It's able to have my grip, I'm always flat, okay, until I decide to attack. Just in the case that I can square up, I can defend, I have good position. I'm not getting crunched in because he's able to pull me in. I'm out of position here. This is really, I'll be in a desperate attack mode here or I'll get thrown. Okay? So back to my left Moinagi stuff. So from here I have palm flat. My right hand is going to be in between his elbow and his wrist. Right on this seam. You see this seam? This seam is connected to every other seam on the gi. So if I pull this part of his body, I'm much more likely to break his balance than pulling this, okay? Because this is just emptiness. This seam is connected to where his belt is tied, everything. I'm able to break his balance a lot easier. I don't want to be too high. The second I grip up here, I'm cheating. I might as well start with my opponent blindfolded because it's not realistic. Getting up here is a position where the person is going to bail and get away from you. Because you have so much control of their body that they're just going to go for a fresh start. So you want to be able to learn all of your throws classically from in between the elbow and the wrist, at least what I think. So from here, not worrying about how I'm going to get to my back, I'm just going to sit onto my butt, okay, right in between his feet. So let's face them a little more right here, okay? From here, I'm as deep as I could get. From here, I'm turning sideways. If I'm a lefty, my left foot is almost on top of my opponent's right heel. Okay, so stand up real quick. Do you see this position? I'm not this. Okay? I'm this. Make sense? Okay, so I have two hands on my opponent. My foot is right on his belly button. I'm no lower, of course. I'm not higher. I'm not off to the side, either side. Sometimes you see people do Yoko Tsumoinagi on the hip. I prefer to have it right there in the center. Okay, ball of my foot right on his belly. Okay? From here, I'm going to lift him over me and be able to control his whole body weight, okay? I'm not going to bail because it's really stiff. And I have to have a good partner for this. I can't have someone who's like a wet towel who's just like, I'll fall on your face because I'm just so loose. Okay? He has to kind of help you learn this technique. So I'm going to lift him up and I'm going to have him balanced, okay? I'm keeping this foot on the mat, okay, the whole time. I'm not coming into join yet, okay? Here. Right here, okay? From here, when I throw my opponent, my right hand is going to go in between my leg and his leg. Okay? If I'm doing this left-handed, I have to make sure he does a left ukemi. I'm not going to throw my opponent over this way because his hand is just going to go on the mat. Right? I'm not going to be able to throw him. He's just going to be able to spin out. So my goal here is to lift and throw him over left ukemi. So I'll do it right-handed. See my foot position? This forward. Square up and face Sensei Kano. Right here, okay? Same grip as we just talked about. I'm lifting him up. I'm able to keep his balance, okay? From here, my left hand pushes behind my leg and in between his leg. That assures that he does a right ukemi, right? Do you see that? He can only do a right ukemi. One more time. I'm perpendicular. I'm not parallel with my opponent throwing him straight over. I'm on the outside, but I'm tight here. I lift him. This foot stays on the mat. Right here, over my shoulder. Do not throw him right into your face, believe me. Naturally, you're going to be like, ugh, and you might get hurt. So make sure to guide him over the correct shoulder. If you're a righty, it's over your left shoulder. So if I'm a righty, hold on, stand up. Where's my right hand going?
On his lapel.
Which one?
Right lapel.
His left lapel. Where's my left hand go? In between his elbow and his wrist, exactly. My foot right in the center of his, right where his belly button is, his belt. So from here, I'm lifting him up. I'm not far away. I'm not out here. There's no way I could do it. Okay? If you do this move out here from your feet, you might get a concussion and a headache. Because you're going to fall and you're going to hit your head. Because you're not deep enough under him to make a circle of this technique. You have to get under him to roll him over you. You can't do it from out here, okay, or you're going to hit your head. You have to be underneath and be able to keep this knee bent. So you do have some spring, correct? Over my left shoulder for you right-handed judo players. Is there any